staying in Cape Town, we're joined now by Philip Jennings. He's Secretary General at the UNI Global Union to discuss his views on the latest regarding the government's intervention in the Massmart-Walmart deal. Thanks so much, Philip, for joining us once again. So still a lot of controversy surrounding the Walmart takeover of the controlling stake of South Africa's Massmart, where initially we had Seckam filing an appeal to the Competition Tribunal's decision. 3 government departments have now followed suit. What are you making of all the developments we're seeing unfold on that front?
Frankly, I'm not surprised. When I spoke to you just a month ago, I said that this story would run and run, and it was too early for Walmart Massmart to let the fireworks off and begin a victory parade. And I was saying, not so fast. I think what has happened is that there's been a awakening to the fact that Walmart's presence here in South Africa and in Africa in the 40 new markets is changing the rules of the game. That when the largest single employer in the world comes to town, this also changes the rules of the game. And I was concerned that there wasn't sufficient attention given to the implications of this. I must say that when I was here last time, I saw the Competition Tribunal's decision, and already the alarm bells were ringing because they basically admitted that there were some procedural issues in the process running up to the Competition Commission's decision. There was a feeling that decisions had been made in haste. There was a feeling that the discovery process had not been exhausted, and therefore that the Competition Commission did not have all the data in its hands to make a judgment. I was also concerned that on the 11th hour of the tribunal hearing that Walmart Massmart came up with these 4 offers which became conditions, and it was the feeling that this was also done in haste, it was done in a rush, and I think the government and the parliament and the trade unions are only right to say, hang on a minute, we need to take another look at this, we need to see if our procedures were correctly followed, and that this is a merger of such major consequence to jobs and to suppliers and to your economic development, that we need to make sure that you get this right, and they're right to do so.
It's all good that this is coming to the fore at this stage of the games, but it seems like it's a little too late for this action, and with that, a lot of the questioning coming in the form of where's the story actually running to?
I think there's a process in the country which has to be followed. You have a good, robust constitution. You have a democratic parliament which has the right to have a say. And there's also a process built into the competition procedures here that these decisions can be appealed. So there's nothing out of the ordinary happening here. There is an appeal that can be made, that has been lodged. The hearing will take place in October. Frankly, if I was Walmart Massmart, I would be on the phone to Bentonville and say, we need to change the game plan here. It's Bentonville that speaks now. They need to rethink the approach that they had. They need to give more undertakings and understandings about the local procurement issues, the local supply chain issues, about those 574 jobs were lost, about only giving a job guarantee for 2 years, and only guaranteeing a collective agreement for the next 3.
So
I think there's still space for negotiations to take place. And I think those negotiations should take place and could take place.
So, Philip, where we've got at this stage a lot of focus being placed on, tightening conditions in regard to procurements more so than anything else, and opposed to reversing the deal, specifically, in your view, the right noises are being made right now?
I think what's important is that if there were procedural issues at stake, that those procedural issues need to be addressed. That's one point. And secondly, there is this general concern about the employment consequences of this deal. And there's a feel that this 11th hour offer that was made by Walmart Massmart at the tribunal came very late in the day, and the tribunal simply accepted them. And there's a feeling that there wasn't, if the government authorities, if the Competition Commission had had the opportunity to see the full facts of the case, to see what the supply chain issues were, they may well have come up with a different decision. So it's much better for them to have a look at that decision, but it's also better for Walmart Massmart to get engaged in a process now to deal with these local supplier concerns. Well, that is still number one. I think that's still the paramount concern that people have here, that yes, Walmart Massmart will have a presence here and in Africa, but there are consequences which need to be looked at, which are in the public interest. Supply chain issues at the top of the pile. Why can't they get engaged in this process and give more guarantees of a new approach by Walmart Massmart to ensuring that the local supplier base here is helped and given a fair shake.
Well, having said that, Walmart, and benefits for South Africa internally aside, it does open up trading networks and liaisons. I mean, we've seen evidence of that in South African company Lonro's seafood division specifically. Ocean Fresh announcing yesterday that, product from its end will be sold in stores in the US. So there's certainly merit as well that cannot be overlooked here.
Of course, if this, I think, should also be part of the conversation that takes place. What are the opportunities to use the Walmart supply chain, of which they are masters, to improve the export capacity from South Africa and other African countries to the other markets where Walmart is working? That is a welcome development. I understand there's just 100 jobs involved. We're talking about tens of thousands of jobs that will be impacted. It's a sign from Walmart Massmart. If they can make this small step with respect to the export of hake, fish, the fish hake, then there should be this ability to have a further conversation about other possibilities. At the moment, these talks need to go much, much, much further. Well, it's a token. It's not enough. It doesn't solve the argument.
While all these talks do progress, I mean, all this to and froing and rumbling, many saying souring the South African investment case as a business destination of choice. What repercussions do you see this in turn having on the jobs market, where business may be a bit wary of setting up shop and creating jobs in this kind of free market scenario?
South Africa is a global leader. South Africa is an African leader. The business community around the world has the highest regard for the business community here in this country. I think some of these observations are somewhat hysterical. I don't think they should be taken too seriously. They're observations made by analysts who are interested in spot market decisions. South Africa is open for business. Global business is present here already across the board, from raw materials to manufacturing into the services economy. We will see more international investment in the services economy, but we need to have the certainty of the conditions upon which this takes place. When Walmart comes to town, it's a game changer. It's 2 million people employed in Walmart. They are the world leader by far. The income of Walmart is higher than the gross national wealth of South Africa. This is not a normal kind of transaction. South Africa is open for business. It's not responsible reporting to say otherwise. What we're saying is it's a global economy. There need to be clearer global rules. There are public interest concerns. They have to be taken into account.